you tweeted when we faced this controversy over Miss Universe. The Democratic women senators have talked, and we are concerned about Donald's weight, campaign stress. We think a public daily weigh-in is called for. Wondered how this tweet came to be. Do you think Donald Trump's telling the truth about his weight?
You know, frankly, it was just a joke. A bunch of us were sitting around at lunch, women senators, and we were talking about how outrageous he is about his fat shaming and how he objectifies women and has his entire life. You know, you don't do something for 69 years and all of a sudden, once you get Mike Pence trying to explain away everything you have said and stood for, it doesn't work. And so we were laughing about how bad he was, which has a serious side, and we thought this tweet would make a pointed joke about how inappropriate he is about women and how they look. Donald Trump is not the kind of leader that reflects the values of our country, and I think that's why they're struggling.
So let's start there. Are you concerned your candidate isn't doing better, given what you just said about Donald Trump? No,
because people in this country, there is a big part of the American public that wants to blow up the status quo. I mean, obviously, metaphorically, they want to blow up the status quo, and Donald Trump represents someone who they believe can do that because he is so bombastic and, frankly, in my opinion, very irresponsible, playing to those emotions. But I understand it. You know, our democracy is messy sometimes because it's founded on the principle of compromise. And when you get a political system that doesn't reward compromise, which is what we have now, it becomes pretty dysfunctional, and it's frustrating for those who are trying to find compromise, and I know it's really frustrating for the American people. I try to make sure people think about what a Donald Trump presidency would be like. This is someone who's not listening to anyone. You know, I feel for Mike Pence. You know, it's got to be really hard to try to explain away what Donald Trump says and does. And, you know, he really, this is a man who, his advisors, my colleagues in the Senate say, oh, Claire, he'll surround himself with good people. Well, he's not paying any attention to the people he surrounds himself with. He thinks this is a dictatorship. He doesn't understand. He can't get anything done unless he works cooperatively with others and compromises. And by the way, Hillary Clinton gets that. She's done it over and over and over again. She's worked with Republicans in Congress to actually accomplish things. And I try to explain to them that just because he says these outrageous things doesn't mean that our Constitution would allow him to do them.
Do you understand why they like Donald Trump and why their fears about their lives and their insecurities about what's happening in their lives could be better addressed by Trump than by Hillary Clinton?
The one thing that Donald Trump does well is he plays to those fears, and he is very adroit at using the media and saying things that he knows will gin up those folks. I have to believe in my heart that's not the majority of America. I think the majority of America, even though Hillary Clinton is not a bright and shiny new object, she's been in the public eye for decades and wears the scars that comes with being in the crosshairs of the Republican attack machine. I really do believe that if people reflect on it, they will realize that she is the one who's going to bring stability, not somebody who says and does the things that Donald Trump says and does.